Sheetal Shende. She has pursued her PhD degree on mathematical modeling and simulation of rainforest rain-off process from the Veer Narmad South Gujarat University, Surat. Currently, she is working as an assistant professor in Navrachana University. She has also contributed in the field of education by publishing various papers on mathematics. And today, she is going to discuss about data visualization with R. Join me in welcoming Dr. Sheetal Shende. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Komal, for such a nice introduction. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. So let me share my screen first. Okay. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we are going to discuss about data analysis using R. Now, here at this point, I want to have one request that to learn, if we want to learn any programming language, best method is we should perform simultaneously while we are learning. And it will be easier for us to learn any programming language or any computer related toolbox. So I request all of you, if possible, please have your laptop or desktop with you. So whenever we perform or whenever we go through the grammar of this language R, you will also be able to perform simultaneously. Okay, that makes this session more interesting. So first of all, what is R? Now, as we know, okay, today world is, we can say, internet subway. We can't live without our mobile phones or laptop and without internet. On one click of our any social networking site or e-commerce site, what happened? We are generating data for others. So every second there are hundreds of thousands of data is generated. Now the question is, once these data are generated, how to analyze that data for our use. Now, use of data may be different for different type of people, but basic question is how to analyze that data. So for that, we have different tools. One of the very hands-on tool we can say, which everyone has, that is discussed by Professor Shardo, and that is MS Excel. Now here in this session, we are going to discuss about another important tool and another very effective tool for data analysis as well as data visualization, that is R. So let us go through this R. Why this R is so much important, from where it comes. So R, firstly, R is created by Rose and Robert at University of Auckland in New Zealand. Now, first time this project started in year 1992. Now, after that, one guy called Martin made an important contribution to this word of R by convincing its owner R and Robert for the GNU license. GNU is General Public License for this R, which makes this R is open source software, that is free software. Now, from the name of his creator, Robert and R, from that first letter, this language called it as R. Now, R is nothing but a programming language and software environment for statistical analysis, graphics representation, and reporting. So why this R is so much important? Why it is so widely usable by all the data scientists or data analysts of different fields? So what are the main features of R which makes this language as this much popular? So very first feature, as I told you, it is open source programming language. That means we don't require any license, or we can not supposed to pay any fees to have this R or work on R. Anyone can work with R. Furthermore, one more thing is we can also contribute towards the development of R by customizing its package, we can also develop new packages and resolve issue if there is in any of the packages. Secondly, R is very well developed language. It is a simple as well as effective programming language to learn for the beginner also. It can handle any type of data. As Salma madam told us in a previous session, that data will be of various type. And in a technical language, statistical language, data can be continuous data, it can be discrete data, it can be in the form of text, any data. So any data, any sort of data, no matter how big that data is, we can have solution in R to analyze that data. So it has data handling capacity, as well as it also has capability to how to store that data. It provides us set of operators for calculation on various data types we can call, that is arrays, list, vector, and matrices. R also provide a large, clear, and integrated collection of tools for data analysis. It also provide graphical facility for data analysis. Uh, we can have different type of graphs. We can save that graph either on our system, or we can take printout whenever and whatever is needed. Fourth important part is to do all this thing, we don't require any compiler. We just have our code on console window of R, and we directly get, when we click enter a key, we'll have our result. Whereas in other language, as we know, we require compiler to run our program. And last, not the least, it has cross-platform support. That means we can have our R on Windows system, or we can have it on Linux or Mac system. Anywhere we can have our R. Now, where exactly or what type of people are using this language for their day-to-day work? So first is in e-commerce. In this e-commerce side, they use R for cross product suggestion as well as target advertisement. Second is on social media. For social media, people use this for behavior and sentiment analysis. In banking sector, they use R for risk analysis. And lastly, healthcare healthcare domain, we can say, they are using this language for analysis of clinical trials and drug recovery. Now this clinical trial nowadays, it is very well known word to us. Now some of the giants in either of this domain, for example, Facebook. Most of us have Facebook account. We are using Facebook every day almost. So Facebook uses R to update status and its social network graph. It is also used for predicting interaction with R, predictive interaction using R. Second giant, Twitter. So it also use R data science toolbox for its sophisticated statistical modeling. Another well-known name is New York Times in the media segment. Now, this New York Times guys uses R for the news cycle at the New York Times to crunch data and prepare graphical analysis before they publish their news. Then there are so many other platform like Amazon, Bank of America, Microsoft, Google, Mozilla. All this industry, we can say that they are using R for that data analysis and data visualization technique. They are using R. Now, some big IT giant name is known to us like Accenture, IBM, Infosys, Paytm. All these are using R for such analysis in their work domain. Now, with this huge amount of, we can say, usage of R, with this R also has some limitations. Now, what are the limitations of R? Now, R is dialect from a very old language that is called S. S is a programming language, and it was developed by John Chember in 1976. So R is developed from that S. So obviously it is a very old technology. So when it comes to 3D graphics, R has very limited support for that. And second limitation is basic security. So because of this, some issues with a basic security, what happened when it comes to anywhere where we don't want our data to be used by other, at that time we cannot use R alone. We take help of other programming language, and with the help of that language we can use R. So despite of this limitations also, nowadays R is very lovable language among all the data scientists, data analysis of all the different domains. Now the question arises from where we get this R. So for that we just need to type download R. So I hope everybody is with their laptop or desktop, right? So just open this our whatever web browser you have. I have my Google Chrome. So there search download R. See, let me make this clear at this point, that if you have any difficulty at any point when you are performing all these things, you can ask me at that point only. You can raise hand, or you can ask me. We do have question answer session at the end, but if we want really want to learn any programming language, it is the best that we perform simultaneously, and in that way we'll enjoy the session. Okay, so when we have this download R, we first have this crane.r project. Just click here. Okay, so very first is download R for Windows. So when we click here, it start downloading that file, exe file. So just download that exe file and then run. I hope you are doing simultaneously.
Yes, yes.
It will take a couple of minutes. See, when you perform simultaneously, now what happened? Let me tell you again. Okay, when you actually want to use R for your data analysis, at that time, you have knowledge of how to do all this thing. Hai na? So your work will be much more easier instead of starting from this downloading and then which window we call what. Hai na? R is basically very interesting language. When in other languages where we require to write 4-5 lines of code, here in one line code we can have our work done.
Dr. Sheetal, I have a small doubt. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Compared to Python,
Hmm?
which language is easy for journalists, because as a beginner, certain journalists or journalism students, they don't want to go into the in-depth of the language, right, like Python and R.
Exactly.
So for them, which may be useful. So basic, yeah.
As I told you, sir, what happened when we are using R, we just see, we don't require much depth knowledge of any language being a data journalist. है ना? So what we require, we just have here in our console window, we just type one line code and our work done.
Okay.
So we have just a result. We don't bother about how that data generate, how to do that. Like, so Python is good also, it is good, but that depends on our requirement. What
Okay.
exactly is if I give you one example, if we want to travel from say Vadodara to Ahmedabad, driving a car will be convenient. But if I want to travel from Vadodara to Mumbai, then maybe train will be convenient. And it is like
Okay.
that. What is our target?
Okay. Okay.
So ours is done, everyone.
Hello, ma'am. Still
Yes,
installing.
ma'am.
Um, Abhijit is there from Times of India. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Hello,
Sir,
ma'am.
in Times, yeah, with
Hello, sir.
Sidul Mam's permission, yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
Abhijit sir, can you please tell, in Times of India, I mean, for data journalism or data journalists, which software or, they are using?
We use Excel.
Excel only.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're not using R or Python, right?
No, it's for us, it's not required because Excel serves our purpose.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you, sir.
That's true. Nowadays, Excel is very powerful. But thing is, Excel require license.
Yeah, we have the license. We have the Microsoft
Okay.
license. And for that, means putting the data, collecting data, and then churning out for visualization purpose, we use Excel.
That's true. It's what happened. We have so many tools for our requirement. It is just which tool is comfortable we are with. Okay, guys, is it done?
Yes, ma'am.
So we require one more thing to download. Here, just download R Studio. R Studio is ID for R. So quickly download this R Studio. We have
Excuse me,
just
ma'am.
yes.
Sorry to interrupt. There's a
Not an issue.
question from Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
He's asking which language gives more flexibility for data analysis, Python or R?
Kevin, as I told you, one of the limitation of R is security. So when there is a issue of security, Python is more powerful. So if you want to develop some web app, right? Then in that case, according to me, Python will be more advisable because of its strong security settings. Otherwise, R or Python both are parallel, we can say. Okay, guys, we have this free version, R Studio Desktop. Just download that. What happened with the we heard about Mahabharat, hai na? Mahabharat ka yudh. Everyone has their weapon. We have Gadadhari Bhim, Gandhivdhari Arjun. Hai na? It is not that Arjun cannot have Gada, but with that Dhanush and Ban, he is more comfortable. It is like that. So we have our weapons, whichever weapons we love to use or we are comfortable to use, we should use that weapon. So it's download it.
Yes, ma'am. It's installing.
So once it is installed, you can open that. I have my R here. Let me open that. See, you can see this R and blue circle around it. That is R Studio. So once you install, open that R Studio. We can do everything with R if we install only R, but we are using the R Studio because it looks good. Huh? the things which look good, that always we like to use such tool. Everyone, have you opened this R Studio? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this R Studio will look like this. I know. Now here we have 4 different windows. You can see that, right? So here first window, which is at the leftmost corner, uppermost window, this one. This window we call it as program window. But being a journalist, we don't require to write a program many times. So, but if it is required at any point of time, we can use this program window. Below program window, which is of our most of the use, I maximize this, that is console window. So here on console window, we write our one line code for our task to be done. On right hand side here, topmost window, where we have 4 different separation. First is environment, whatever variable we create at the console, that will be required here at environment. Then we have history window. In past, whatever command we shoot at console window, that will be automatically reflect here in history window. So if in future, if we want to use any code again, we can take help of this history window. Then below the history window, we have again one window, last one, this one. There we have file section. It will reflect file of our system. Then we have second is plot. So this window is blank. If we shoot any command to have graph, that will be reflect in this plot window. Then here we have packages. So we have so many packages in R. Some packages, base packages are already installed when we install our R. If we require any other package, we can have that package from this list. Okay, so these are the main features of R Studio. Now, how we can use R? So first thing is simple calculator that we don't require much. If I say 2 plus 5, it will give me some. On console window, just type anything, you can use it as a calculator. Okay, if I want to find say 4 raised to 7, then I can have my result. And if you observe, each and every command which I write here, just write the command and press enter key, you will have your result. Each and every command will reflect in your history window. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now the second question is, if we want to store this number, what are the method which we have here in R, so that in which format we can store that number here? So there are different formats that we called in technical language of R, we called it as object. So we have objects of type of vectors. We can store our data in form of list, matrices, arrays, factors, and data frames. All has its our own uniqueness. So most basic type of object is vectors. So let us see quickly how we can create vectors in R. So whenever we create any vector, we supposed to store that in some variable. So let us here create one variable x. If we want to store any number in that x, how we can store? Just less than sign and dash. If I want to store single number, just write let us say 6 and enter. So when I write just x, I will get 6. Okay, but if I want to store more than one number, so how we can store that in x? We use one function, that is concat function C. So here we can store multiple numbers with separated by comma. Okay, and if I click X, it will give me number stores in that particular variable X. Now here, if you observe one thing, why R is more comfortable for analysis, it does not have other, basic thing require. For example, if you are using C++ or Java to write any program, and if you are using any variable there, first thing is you need to create, or you need to declare data type of that variable. Okay, which type of data you want to store in that particular variable, and that data type is integer or double or character. In other programming language we have that data type, whereas here in R we don't require to give any data type for variable which we are using. It automatically takes that data type of that number whichever we are using. Here we are storing in that particular variable. So, and we can replace numbers with that different numbers. Okay, X ko hi we can use bar for different type of data. If I want to store consecutive numbers, then just here 3:10. So we'll have consecutive 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now here, to learn data analysis in R, it has some inbuilt data set. If we want to see what are the inbuilt data set of R, we can see, because due to time constraint we cannot go much in detail to how to create all this thing. We just directly switch to analysis. So if I want to see what are the data sets available, just click on write data and double quotes. Here it will show us all the inbuilt data set available. Air passenger, this, these are the inbuilt data set. For example, I want to see whole list, so just enter here in a program window. It will give me list of data sets available in particular package data sets. So from here, one data set which I use most of the time for initial analysis, that is Nile. Where is Nile? Chalo koi nahi. Write NILE. So just write Nile and click. So this data set, it gives us description of data set. That data set is already there in R. Okay. So for our basic analysis purpose, we can use this inbuilt store data set. So here in Nile, it has from 1871 to 1970, it is giving this number, and that number is nothing but amount of water flow in that river in that particular year. Okay, so if I want to find the average flow of Nile river, so what I have function mean. All this name are that we are using in statistic only. So mean, and here I write Nile and just enter. So it gives me average water flow for this 100 years in Nile. If I want to find standard deviation, so just standard deviation and Nile and enter. So it will give me standard deviation. Let us plot basic histogram for this Nile river. So for that we have function hist. We don't require to remember that function name all over again, because it is similar to name which we are using in our statistics. So it is for Nile, so just write Nile and enter. So our histogram will reflect here in plot window. You can see that. If we want some colorful, then just write COL. See, when I write any letter here, it reflect new window. So we'll come to know whether that particular command or function is available or not. You know, so color equal to, in double quotes, let us say red. Then it will give me red. One more method is, if I don't want to write name of color, here we can write numbers also. We can write number from 1 to something 850. It will give combination of different colors. For different number, it has different color. Okay. So this is a vector form of data, Nile. But most of the time when we want to do data analysis, most of the data we have is in tabular form, in Excel or .csv file. So that tabular form of data has a number of rows and number of columns. So that tabular form of data here in Excel, we called it as of the form data frame, which is mostly uses our data will be in data frame form. So to use that data frame form, let us install one new package here. So just write install.package. See, here it is a pop-up, one window. I hope you are with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so install.package is highlighted. Just click enter key. That command will appear on console. And in those bracket, in double quotes, see, if you observe, if I start one bracket automatically will closed. If I start one double quotes, it will be complete. So one package we require DS labs. So install that package. It will take 1 or 2 minutes. It's already installed here. So whenever you want to use any package, so first time you require to install that package in our R. And then to use that content of that package, we'll use library function to load this package. So every time when you open your R Studio, whatever require packages, you supposed to load that packages using library function. So just write DS labs, enter, second time enter. You can directly install that package from here, packages also. Just make it tick, it will be installed. Now here we want to analyze one data set, that is murders. Now this murders data set contains data of murders in US in 2006 or 16, I don't remember, in each and every state. So we want to see what kind of data this murders have, or how many data sets available in DS lab. So I just write DS labs. When you have this window pop up, just press enter key. These are all the data, again new data for in DS labs. So these are the data set available. From here we are going to use murders. So it gun murders data from FBI reports. It also contains population of each state. So just select that. And when I enter, I will have that data set. So it has state, abbreviation of state, region, population, and total murders. 5 columns and number of rows. Now, if we want to see what is the structure of data set, being a good analyst, first thing for any data, what we'll do, we see what is the structure of that particular data set. So we'll have idea of what kind of data we have. So murders. Okay. So it will give me all in and out about these data sets. How many state it has, name of the columns, data frame type, 51 observation and 5 variables. If from here, if I want to extract only, I want to see name of the states, then how we can say that murders, name of data set, first we write $, and here it will give me number, name of the columns which it has. So I just want to see the states. So select states and enter. So this much states we have in our particular data set.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
मैम ये DS लैब है ना, वो इसमें लिखा है दिस पैकेज इज नॉट अवेलेबल फॉर दिस वर्जन।
आपने पहले वो लोड किया इंस्टॉल डॉट पैकेजेस में? ये पहले इंस्टॉल करना पड़ता है कोई भी पैकेज। सो व्हेनेवर
बट मैम यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ आ रहा है दैट दिस पैकेज DS लैब इज नॉट अवेलेबल फॉर दिस वर्जन।
वो वार्निंग आ रहा है कि एरर आ रहा है आपका? वार्निंग कोई नहीं, आप लाइब्रेरी करके आगे करो, चलेगा वो।
ओके, थैंक यू।
ओके, अगर नहीं आता तो यू कैन आस्क मी अगेन। Okay, so we can extract any particular column like this. So name of data set, $, and name of column. Now, if I want to find maximum population in which state, so how we write? We have function max. So write down max. Anna? So in murders, name of the data set, $population. So maximum population number, it reflects here. But this much information we don't require, might not require. We should also have name of the state or at least abbreviation of state. So how to find which state has maximum population? So how we can find that? So we write which state, we require name of the state. So murders, state. Okay. Then we have which maximum, which state has maximum population. So just we, as we speak now, that command we should hear. So which maximum and population. So murders. So it is once we are through now, it is very simple. As we speak, we should command here. Which state has maximum population? So California has maximum population. Similarly, you can find which state has maximum murder number. So instead of population, what I change? Total. So California has maximum murders. Now, this time is running, so let us plot some basic information that is of our interest. So let me plot population versus total murder. So how we can plot that? One thing is we can, if we have simple vector, we can use histogram. But here we have two datas, है ना? Murder population, murder total and population. So to plot that, we have plot function. So plot है ना? Murders versus population. So population versus total, comma, murders. So everything will be pop up in that extra window. So just select and you are done. Okay. So just enter. We'll have our plot in this window. So since population number is bigger, so on x-axis we have e raised to some form. If we want to reduce that number, just what we'll do? Just divide it by some bigger quantity, 10 raised to 6. So we'll have that number to 0, 10, 20. Okay, but just this dot won't help us, right? If we want to modify this, what we can do? Again, use plot. I want to add title of my plot. So main title equal to, I can write my first plot. Then on x-axis, I want to write something. So x label. What is there? Murder total. Similarly, on y-axis, y label is equal to, what should we write? Achha, x label is murder population, right? So let me write population. And y label is murder total. If we want to give some color, let us make colorful graph. Any number you can give and enter. So it will have dot 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 blue. Okay. Now in R, some advanced plotting is possible using ggplot2. Now this ggplot2 is very important package when it comes to data visualization. So, but due to lack of time, we could not cover that. So let us have with this graph only. Now suppose let us want to have in ascending or descending order of, let's say, this, what we have, murder total. Okay, so what we can write, just have murder abbreviation. Then we want to order it with murders total. So we have state with VT has minimum murder rates and California has maximum murders. So we can verify with this data. VT is what? Vermont has only 2 murders and California has maximum, that is 1, 2, 5, 7. Now one last thing which is very important, let us go through that and we'll stop. Now whenever we want to do data analysis, it never happens that we do analysis of this murder set or anything which is available, ready-madely available in R. We have our own data which we want to analyze. So whenever we want to analyze any data, we're supposed to load that data in our R. So how to import that data set in R? So for that, this is just require every time. So instead of writing that code or remembering that code, simplest thing is in file menu here at the topmost left side, we have import data set. Now I have one Excel file, so I import that Excel file here. So click on from Excel. Now you can see new window pop up here, right? So here that code, review code is already there for us. We no need to write that code by ourselves. Now whatever data set we require to load, just from this browse option, I have one data set. Let me try to rainfall Gujarat. Just click on open. So my data set is uploaded here. You can see, right? So for Gujarat region, it will give me rainfall for from January to December and up to year 1950. Okay. So, and here my code is also completed. We select here first row as our name. So let it be as it is and import. So here in program window, my data set is import. Here it is 2008-17 tak hai. Okay. So if I want to see, instead of scrolling down and up, what is a smart way? Whenever we have any data set, as I told you earlier, data set name directly here, we have rainfall Gujarat. So what we'll do is just find structure of my data set. So every in and out will be known to us. So remember that whenever you have any data set, just go through its structure. So what is structure? It is a type table. Table is nothing but one advanced type of data frame. It has 117 rows and 19 columns. And these are the column names. So if I want to check what is the rainfall of any particular month, say July or June, I can see that data. I can plot any of the year versus July or that we can plot that. Use simple plot. Right. Gujarat. Rainfall Gujarat. Year versus what rainfall, say June or July, whatever. We have plot here in this window. Okay, so that is very important how to load. Due to time constraint, we cannot go ahead. So we're supposed to stop here. Maybe if next time, if we have such session, we can have more advanced analysis and visualization in R. But for today, that is it. If you have any question or query, you can ask me.
Yes, I would like to say something.
Yes, sure, sir.
Yeah, I observe a few things that can be that is we can compare different tools. Like for example, in R, we can see that there are a lot of data sets available, which are readily available. So this is something which lacks in Excel.
Okay.
You need to download it from
some other
several
source.
website. Yes, in R we have readily available, so we can practice various techniques in R with those data sets, and then we can apply on our data set. That is first thing. And second thing, someone was asking regarding Python versus R. So I would like to say that Python can perform all the tasks which R can do, but
Of course.
particularly one area in which I think Python will be more better, and that is in plotting using Seaborn. Okay, so there are two packages in Python for plotting. One is Seaborn, and the other one is Matplotlib. So if you use plotting using Seaborn, the output graphs are really beautiful, and even they are better than Excel. So I think that is where Python is useful. If you want a really beautiful graphs, you can use the Python package Seaborn. So
That is true, but here also, as I told you, we have ggplot2 for
yes,
more advanced and stylish graphical representation. We supposed to use that ggplot. Here, what I observed study today is just a basic plot,
yes,
which
yes,
x versus y. No other thing is there.
right,
But
right.
of course, all languages has their pros and cons.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe Salma madam can say more about that,
Yes,
because
and
frankly speaking, I don't have much idea about Python. So I
yeah,
will have my agenda for R only.
and I don't have much idea about R. So yeah, but the thing is that if journalist, a particular journalist person knows different languages, then he can always shift. So for example, he wants to
Exactly.
do this task, then he will use Excel. If he want to go for that task, he will go for R. And if he want this, then Python. So every language. So if a person is doing all the different language, being journalist, it is always going to be beneficial for him. That's for
Exactly.
sure.
That's true. Because as I told you earlier, it is, like a war. We have weapons. Whichever weapons is dear to us, we can use that.
Right.
Yeah, here I can add also something.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is nice discussion about R, Python, and Excel. So what I observed that in R programming, basically it's for visualization and some computation based on statistics, right? And Excel also can do some elementary computation as well as visualization. But yeah, Python has beyond that actually, like the machine learning algorithms, data analysis tool, advanced data analysis tools are available. So who wants to do the actual analysis, right?
So
By
I
applying,
think Python is more useful if you are in
yeah,
data science field, core data science field,
yeah. So if
as I understand.
yeah, that's true. So means if as a data journalism also, if you want to really go in the depth and you have to make some decision, like and you have to analyze, you have to predict something, forecast something, like that type of problem, that is based on like ANN, artificial neural networks, or something AI based. So I think in those cases you have to learn something more about Python. But for this purpose, like elementary purpose, visualization, basic things, you can definitely explore in Excel as well as yeah, R programming. So that's my view about.
Yeah. I think Professor Aishwarya is here. I
Yeah.
think, from a journalistic perspective, or what is the beneficial, thing for journalism, I think Professor Aishwarya will guide us, right? Because she has a lot of contact with journalists too, isn't it? Professor Aishwarya is here, I think.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Yeah, yes, yes. Great.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, and all the participants. I hope you enjoyed the session.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your views on data visualization with R. Looking forward to more views from your side on such topics. Also, thanks to Professor Shadev and Dr. Salma for adding on your knowledge.